Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. This is Beyond Authentic Health, where we are documenting our weight loss journey
and
beyond. My name's Lisa.
I'm Rufus.
And this video is an extra helping video from us, basically, as part of our Losers Club series.
This is an extra dollop for you.
It is.
And you. And you.
You're giving them all an extra helping. Everyone
Another
that's
one
watching.
for you.
And
Yeah.
another one for you. They got bonus
They're full
helping.
up now.
They got
now.
second and now third.
They have.
Yeah.
Here's
So
your
this
pudding.
This is an extra helping of support from us. And today we wanted to talk about, well, we're kind of combining two videos in one, aren't we? Because we wanted to talk about our journey from, not day one, but our journey of losing weight together on the Slimming World plan, and basically what we've learned about ourselves by following the Slimming World plan. So this is going to be a bit more of a personal share, really a story time from us, isn't it? As well as offering hopefully some tips and tricks and motivational bits of advice as we go along. So
I know we've got a list.
We've got a list. We're going to keep referring to the list. So this first segment is the before time, we've called it. I don't mean before we met or any of that, and our trans story. If you want to know all of that, there's another video on the channel. If I remember, I'll link it up in the corner. But this is basically our story of how we got involved with Slimming World in the first place. We are celebrating our 10-year anniversary in October, but we didn't start Slimming World until about a year after that, wasn't it? We think it's about 9 years. Yeah. So then, I had to lose some weight. We both had to lose some weight. We were big, weren't we? We weren't at our biggest, but we were big. And at the time, we had medical reasons to lose weight because we were aiming to get down to a healthier body weight so that we could have gender confirmation surgeries, weren't we?
Yeah.
And you decided Slimming World first.
Yeah, I've done it before. Like I say, in the past I'd done it. Worked okay. But then as soon as you think you no longer need Slimming World, and you think, oh, well, I don't need to keep going and get weighed and all of that. And then often, probably for a lot of people, you think, oh, I can manage it on my own. And then before you realise it, you've put weight back on. Yeah. And then you're back to square one.
So 9 years ago, you went to a local group that's just round the corner from here.
Yeah.
And was it 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
It was for a few weeks. Like I say, there was a brand new consultant, and it was literally like 5 minutes from here.
It's next to our doctors.
Yeah.
Right next to the doctors. So
and,
really
I went
handy.
along, a new consultant, and she wasn't there for very long. It wasn't, I don't think, maybe it wasn't the right job for her, but she wasn't there long, and I didn't feel that what I expected and the support you'd get from a group, it just didn't feel right for me. And like I say, if you find another group and you actually go to one and you think, I'm not feeling it here, you try another one. There's so many around, like I say. And I went a few weeks, and then
I decided, I saw, because I think in the first couple of weeks you lost some weight.
Yeah.
You lost a fairly, at least half a stone in the first couple of weeks and so on. And I looked at that and thought, do you know what? Okay, a bit like somebody realising they're an alcoholic, I was like, do you know what? I can't lose weight on my own. No. I will go to a group. I didn't want to go to the same group as you, did I? But luckily for us, there was another group within walking distance.
Again,
just the other. So literally, one's 5 minutes in one direction, one's 5 minutes in the other. So I went along, and I remember very clearly to this day, I said to the consultant, I don't want to be here. I do not want to join Slimming World. I don't want to be here. I don't want to follow a plan. But my other half has lost X number of pounds in 3 or 4 weeks, and I need to do something. He's at that group over there. Yeah. I don't want to go to the same one. That's why I'm here. So I'm probably going to be a bit of a stubborn cow, but I need help. I cannot do this on my own. And told her a bit about my history, where I was wanting to be, all of that. And she was absolutely lovely. She welcomed me into group. She was a very experienced, well, she's still running it to this day. She's a very experienced consultant, isn't she? She'd been on a Slimming World journey herself, lost a load of weight, got to target, came off target, got back to target, all of the standard journey that we hear so often from really good consultants. And so we started at Slimming World. Within a couple of weeks, or within a week nearly, I think, of me being there, I said, "Oh, if you don't like, if your consultant's not doing this and that, come to this one." Like,
Yeah.
I didn't want us to go to the same group, but come on, we'll go to this one. You met her and you thought she was lovely as well, didn't you?
Yeah.
And that was it. We tried and we lost weight. We absolutely did. We lost weight successfully. We got a fair few targets, didn't we?
Yeah.
We didn't. I wasn't in the habit then of setting a final target. I don't think you did either.
I remember back when you very first started, you didn't want to know what the
I didn't want
scale
to know
said.
what the scale said.
You go,
I was really
had the consultant
ashamed.
just to put it in your book, and you didn't. You know, when you got on the scale, you're like, I'm not going to look. Okay, just if I've lost weight, okay, this week, great.
And they'd
Can
say,
you write
"Oh,
it
you've
in my
lost,"
book,
and then
but
I'd go,
don't
"Oh,
tell-
what have I
but
lost?
don't
What have I
tell me."
lost?" Yeah,
Yeah.
I was really ashamed of
Yeah.
being so fat. And the Slimming World plan worked for us, didn't it? We both lost weight, but we were very much in the mindset of, this is a diet. We are on a diet. We'll lose the weight, and then we'll be able to go back to our other ways of living. That was when, over that Christmas and New Year, that was the infamous 17 pounds that I gained in 10 or 11 days. It was the Christmas breaks. There was a group right in between, wasn't there? But we didn't go. So between Christmas and New Year, how much did you put on? You put on about £6 or £7.
It was about £5.5 I put on.
Oh,
I think.
there you go,
days.
5.5, even
From
less.
Christmas, yeah.
And I'd gained £17 in that same period because I was off my diet. So the consultant used to talk about doing an SP day, and that was like wearing a tighter corset, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And that mindset, for some reason, that was what I was taking Slimming World to be, is that I was wearing a corset. While I was doing Slimming World, I was in a little tight corset that was slimming me down. When I was off plan, you take the corset off, eat what you want, put the corset back on again, tighten up that corset, a couple of SP days if you need it, whatever it was. But it was very much a restrictive plan, wasn't it? We ate to our 15 sins. We ate right up to the limit on our 15 sins. We restricted ourselves. So there'd be days where we'd be like, oh, I really want another flump.
Yeah.
Because we ate flumps and lots of sugary things. Or I'd think, I've had my hi-fi bars today for my Healthy Extra B. Oh, I've had my 15 sins. I really want something else. I'm not going to have it. I'm going to be good. I'm going to stick to this diet. And we would, but it was very much a diet, wasn't it?
It was.
Do you want to say what we did with the snack bags?
Oh, we would literally go, all right, I've got this many sins for the day. I'm going to use all my sins and I'm going to make these snack bags. So it'd be like sugary treats and all sorts of stuff. Do these little bags, like what kids would when you go to the sweet shop
Tuck
years
shop.
ago.
Yeah, that's
and
exactly
you would
what
have,
it was. Yes.
You'd make your bag of sweeties up, and like say, it would literally be, well, I can have this many per day, so that's what I'm going to have.
And we had the pink and whites were in it. What
Yeah.
else was in our snack bags? There were
all sorts of
Freddos,
all
flumps,
sorts of bits, and things that were
rainbow
high
drops.
sugar, high fat, high sugar treats. So yeah, straight away, that for us was just ourselves kind of like not wanting to get rid of our old habits.
No, because we were
and-
dieting.
Yeah.
And we were
So,
allowed 15 sins.
that's
So
it.
we'd eat all our 15 sins. Absolutely.
So straight away, though, my mind would be like, well, if I can have that many, I will have them all, and because I can.
Can you remember, I know certain foods are a trigger for you, but can you remember one of the foods that you used to have that wasn't a trigger too much was a custard tart? Can you remember how many sins a custard tart
11
was?
sins. Do you know 11 sins I could have processed, but 3 bags of popcorn for 9 sins, or I can have 1 custard tart for 11.
Bonkers, isn't it? But that's what we would do. And we would eat that food thinking, we are working this plan perfectly. We are doing what it says. At the time, we were making videos on YouTube. I'll put up some photos and stills from that time period.
I said, but there is also, like I say, a lot more sometimes volume eating, so a lot more of the things that are less calories. There's obviously you can have a lot more of, but the things that are really not that great for you, like the custard tart, 11 sins, or I can have this whole load of popcorn and just sit and actually just graze on it rather than eat this one thing and not feel like I've really had anything much. So yeah.
But we worked that plan, didn't we?
We
We
did,
thought we
yeah.
were on it 100%, and we would count everything, all of the sins we counted,
Yeah.
because we needed to have our snack bag.
Yeah.
So if there was a sin in some ketchup or mayonnaise,
Yeah.
it meant taking something out of the snack bag. That was if I had to take one of the little flump things that were 3 sins or whatever it was
So
out
was-
of my snack
but
bag,
even
I was
then,
devastated.
There was probably times where maybe I didn't sin ketchup or like didn't
Yeah.
add it or
Not in the way that we're doing now.
not now. No. Within this time, on and off, though, you used to smoke.
Yep,
So-
I'm still smoking.
When you stopped smoking, then that was another reason. If you're not sitting without putting something to your mouth, you would be then thinking about food as well.
Yep.
Instead of
I
having
forgot
the
I
smoke.
smoked.
Yep. Instead of
Weird,
having
isn't
that.
it?
But you wouldn't smoke all the time. But every
No.
so often you would
Yep.
have a smoking sort
Yep.
of, and then stop, and then
So that was our pattern, and we were relatively successful at it.
Yeah.
We were, going to group, and we were losing the weight and hitting our stone awards and half stone awards. You were doing better than me because you always do. I roll. But then COVID hit.
it was before the big thing about COVID came out, and obviously it started going round, but I didn't even realise
It didn't even have a name
and
properly yet, did it?
I went home and I said, "Oh, do you know what? I think I'm coming down with something. We've got a group tomorrow or the day after. I don't think I should go to it
No.
because I'm feeling really under the weather."
And that was on. I think that was the Tuesday that
and
you got ill.
That was before everyone else at
Yeah.
group anyone else got any of it. I
Well, you
came
got
down
ill.
with it, and I just said I'm not going out.
No.
I'm going to stay at home because I feel really rubbish.
And then I remember, did you drop me at the group?
I think
you dropped me
I
at the
did.
group.
I didn't go that next
No.
day or so. I think in Leeds or I don't know where it was.
It was the Bradford one, because I remember
Yeah.
sitting there and thinking, Rufus is poorly, but it's
Yeah,
fine. I'll
I'm
do the
not.
group. It's
Yeah.
fine. And as the night wore on, I was feeling more and more
Yeah.
poorly, and I felt it. Literally, I felt it hitting me. And it turns out we rang up the doctors the next day. They said to us, "Have you just come back from Italy?" No. Oh, well, it's only people that are coming from Italy that we think have got it. Have you been around someone from Italy?
How would you know?
I don't know, not that I know of. Oh, well, in that case, there's no medicine for it. There's nothing we can do. Just take some paracetamol and try and, stay away from some people.
Yeah.
And that was before COVID had a name, anything else, before there were the big campaigns.
And how would you know
masks.
if you've been near someone that's got COVID? They
No.
might not even know it themselves.
No idea. Well, that's it. They didn't. And of course, friends of ours that were at the group got poorly after
Yeah.
us because I didn't know I had it. Anyway, a whole big thing. But COVID did a number on
But
us.
the likelihood was usually if I get something, often you'll get it
Yeah.
anyway. So we probably got it at the exact same time.
Yeah,
just
it's
my
just that
symptoms started to
your
show
symptoms
before
first,
yours.
yeah. But then COVID did a number on us. It really, really did.
think
It triggered
was
my
about-
fibro.
I think the first time we had it for about the symptoms were about 5 weeks.
5 or 6 weeks, yeah.
5 weeks or so, yeah.
And it was the worst flu imaginable. But I then, it's almost like both of us had little switches in our immune system, in our bodies, that COVID switched on. For me, it was fibromyalgia. It affected my diabetes. It affected, you name it, it affected it, didn't it? For you, it was your asthma and your lungs.
Yeah.
Now, what Rufus can't really remember is at this time, we were ill for that 5 weeks, 6 weeks. We got better. A few months later, we caught it again.
Yeah.
And the second time we got it, I was down for a couple of weeks. But it really ripped through your body.
Oh, yeah.
So Rufus, prior to COVID, he had asthma, but it was the sort of asthma where
No one
if
would
you,
know I had it.
nobody knew. You had
Unless-
an inhaler, but it wasn't really
if
used.
The only time if I had a really bad cold or something like that, then obviously that would
Sit on your chest for a bit.
Yeah, it would kind of make any asthma symptoms I had a little bit worse, and that's the only time people would know I had it.
Yeah.
If I told them. If I didn't tell them, a lot of people wouldn't know.
No, but it wasn't. I remember even being able to smoke in the car if the window was down. It wasn't like there wasn't really an issue. You didn't like the smell, but it wasn't an issue.
No.
The second time he got COVID, I'm going to get emotional. It completely changed him because suddenly you weren't able to breathe easily. Your sleeping got altered.
Yep.
Your ability to move got altered.
I literally would have to sleep nearly sitting up.
Yeah.
Couldn't
Your
walk
lungs wouldn't clear.
I couldn't walk from one room to the other
No.
without like stopping. I couldn't even barely do that. That
No.
was even a real struggle.
But worse than that, it affected your entire it affected your entire day, because you wouldn't sleep at night.
Yep.
Because you were struggling to
I
breathe
would
or
crash
waking
out,
up,
then
and
I
you
would
developed
sit
apnea.
down, crash out on like sitting
Yeah.
up sleeping, and
A couple of hours, wake up, couple of hours,
Yep.
wake up. So that meant the daytimes you were always tired
Yep.
and always
and
struggling,
then always awake all night.
and then awake at night, and that pattern kicked in. And then, of course, lockdowns happened. But we could still get food delivery, so we'd get takeaways and stuff,
Yeah.
because at that point,
I was
I was
poorly to
struggling
cook.
with the fibro had
Yep.
kicked in. You were really struggling being able to move around.
Yeah.
And so standing and cooking for me was an issue. For you, it was an almost impossibility, and our weight ballooned.
I said I do know from watching a few people on Slimming World, a lot of people struggled during COVID time.
Yeah.
Like I say, and our journey with what's happened to us has happened to a lot of people.
It really has. It really, really has. So as the years of lockdown and, that period of time went on, we got steadily bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Over the COVID period, we got it a couple more times. We then got the jabs. It made both of us quite poorly, didn't it, when we got it? The worst time for me was when you were in the
I was in hospital, wasn't
respiratory ward. And you were in there for a few days, and then you were well enough to go home, because they needed the ward for acute cases of people that were
It was turning
very, very
It was
poorly.
turning it into a COVID ward.
Yeah, not just a respiratory
Yeah.
ward. And at that point,
I think
it wasn't.
I was there 6 days. I
Yeah.
think, all in all.
And it wasn't actually COVID that you were in there for. It was your asthma and your breathing that COVID had destroyed,
Yeah.
basically. So you came home, but then you had
It was
heart issues.
It was them that put me on the Montelukast.
It was. They
Yeah.
put you on a asthma drug.
Yeah.
But then you came home, and then you had some heart issues, and your heart was racing, and
Yeah.
we had to get an ambulance, and
Yeah.
ended up waiting for the ambulance.
I
We
think
got a taxi.
My heart rate went up to like 130 something.
So you went back into hospital for a couple of days then, because things were bad. It basically did a real number on you. There was a couple of points there where I genuinely was worried that you weren't going to come out of hospital. It was genuinely very, very scary for me. So God knows what it was like for you dealing with it. But anyway, lockdown lifted. We got jabs.
Yeah.
We decided at that point, you know what, we need to do something. And as the world opened back up, our old Slimming World group had moved.
Yeah.
So we were like, okay, let's go into Slimming World again. We've got really fat now. Never mind. We'll go back to Slimming World. And at that point, you were at your heaviest, weren't you?
I don't think that. Oh yeah, this time. Yeah, I was.
When we went to the fire station.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So I would have been about 25, 26 stone at my heaviest. Do you want to share what you were?
I was 29.5 stone.
And that's when we went back to Slimming World with our previous consultant, and we went and we were like, okay, we're back, let's do this, we've got this. And we followed it. But the results this time were going a bit different, weren't they? We did lose weight again.
I was dropping weight, but
You were going great guns. You were getting, like, within about 3 weeks, you got your first award and your second award a week
for
later.
you, I think stopping Slimming World and then going back, previous to that, you were losing at least £1 to £1.50 every week.
Yeah, consistent. £2 here, pound there, £2 here. Slight gain, massive gain. Back on.
Then going back, I thought something definitely wasn't quite right when we started at the same group again. I went back, and then for the first so many weeks, you weren't getting the results that. Obviously, we're eating the same food and having the same meals.
Yeah, I think.
But for you, it wasn't.
Again, my memory's a bit rubbish, but you said that
For the
for the first 6 weeks
you gained for 6 weeks. every week for 6 weeks you had a gain.
And I was following the plan.
Same meals as me. I lost weight, and you were
I think, hadn't you lost something ridiculous like a stone and a half,
a stone
or a
or something
stone
in
or
a couple
something
of weeks.
in that same
In a
6
coup-
week period?
Well, I'd lost just over a stone in 2 weeks.
Yeah. And then in the 6 weeks, I think you must have been at a stone and a half, nearly 2 stone or
Stones,
something.
yeah.
And
So,
I'd
yeah.
gained.
Yeah.
And it was at this point that I was determined to do this. We were on it. The consultant was saying, you know, double check everything, write a food diary, do this, do that. And we were doing
Maybe
it.
there's something that you
There's
know,
some
that
hidden
is doing,
sins, something's not
maybe,
right.
Yeah, something.
And at the same time, other things were happening in my body. And cut a long story short, I had bladder cancer.
Yeah.
That had nothing to do with my weight at that
No.
point. It had nothing to do with the fact I'd got so big. Well, it might have done, I don't know. But it had nothing to do with the reason I couldn't lose the weight. That comes after. So anyway, off I go, discover I've got cancer. There was a 6-month gap between the first test and the second test. It shouldn't have been that long, but it was. A whole big story happened. Anyway, I go into hospital, have the cancer removed, lots of horrible things, and then I get sent home the following day. And I come home, and then I am peeing out horrendous, scarring and clots. It was the worst thing I have personally gone through, I think.
Basically, what happens is when they basically remove something from the bladder, what they remove, they don't get rid of, so you still have it in your system.
Yeah, it's not like vacuumed out or anything.
No.
You think it would be?
Overnight, I was told that while you were in there overnight till the next day, they're meant to keep attaching some liquid to your into a tube that go obviously into your catheter.
Yeah.
I think I'm sure they said is it up to like 6 or something.
Something like that, I think. Yeah.
And then the next day you go home, but the night people, obviously they have loads of like agency staff in hospitals. The jobs weren't done, so that when you came back, you still had all that stuff in your bladder.
I did.
And then to find that if you can't then pass that because the pieces are too big, where they've obviously burned away with their equipment any parts of the bladder that you need to take out inside, and then if you can't pass those bits, you're going to end up back, in agony and back in hospital.
I was in for 4 or 5 days. I did a video doing my face in my hospital bed. I was a little bit, to be honest, a little bit oblivious as to what was happening.
I think though he didn't want to, where a lot of times in A&E you could be left waiting hours before you actually get treatment. He didn't want to leave it all that long. That's
because
because of how serious it was.
And I think he also knew that I should never have been sent home in the condition I was.
No.
But anyway, so all of that happened. I was in for 4 or 5 days. I recovered, and I expected to bounce back. The reason I wasn't losing weight on Slimming World was because of the cancer. Obviously, that makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Right then, now the cancer's gone, back on plan. The weight's going to drop off, isn't it? I'm going to be just like Rufus. I'm going to eat the same food, come in on the scales, and I'm going to lose a stone in
the
2
same
weeks.
Food. That's the
We
thing.
were, yeah. But that didn't happen, did it?
No.
I bounced back, but I didn't lose weight.
But I said partly
A lot. I
with
was
everything,
struggling.
our consultant at the time, obviously not knowing maybe about some of
Everything.
it because they're not doctors,
There's no blame here at all on
thought
anybody.
that it could have been down to the cancer. It could have been,
Yep.
and then how much liquid and all of that you had to
Yep.
drink and all of that, so you couldn't really concentrate on just what you were seeing on the scale, because if you've got to drink that much water every day to keep flushing your system through, it was difficult. But if you were eating the right food, eventually the weight should come off.
Yep. And I stuck to it, didn't I?
You stuck to
I
it.
stuck
Yep.
to it. I was, do you know what? It's
Yeah, but-
fine. It will come off. It will come off. It will come off.
But I said this time, even when we was at that group, after when the cancer treatment happened, we were doing the plan, it was 100%.
But I was still not losing weight, but I was following the plan. And it would be a little loss, then a gain, then a little loss, then a big gain, then a little, then a big loss, then a big gain, then a little, and it was just all over the place. But consistently, my weight was sort of within a sort of, it was going down, but ever so slowly, but then would go back up. It was almost like I was plateauing.
Oh, you've done really well this week, well done. Next week, oh, what happened here? Then you put weight on.
Yeah. And I would consistently say to the consultant, I've had the same food.
Same thing.
And she would say repeatedly, then it must be something that you're not counting. There must be something. Check this, check that. And I did food diaries and you name it, we did it. I would get told, oh, there must be something, must be some hidden sins. That was when we discovered about the chicken roll, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, that
and
was
we were
once
like,
in a slice.
Maybe that's it. Maybe we are not doing the right thing. So we went back, we scanned everything.
So from that point, everything we did, scan everything in the shops, anything that we picked up, whether it be like down to scanning your options, to packets of sliced chicken, to just in case there was any hidden sins in any of that stuff, and everything we had was on plan.
Absolutely everything. It became almost like a religious fervour, wasn't it? We've got to scan it.
Yep.
And it was like, well, we scanned that last week. Yes, but it might have changed since this week. We don't know. We've still got to scan. Every single item we bought, we scanned. And I've written down here that it was frustration station, because that's exactly where I was. And that's where I left the plan. I was like, I cannot do this. This is not working. Something is not right. I cannot do this. And then, I left. And at that point, you were getting frustrated with me because I wasn't losing any weight, weren't you? And at that point, we tried to go it alone. We, as most people do, we failed at that. And we gained some weight back. We didn't gain all of it back, did we? Our pre-COVID weight.
No.
But then we found a new consultant, and I remember saying to the new consultant, our most recent bar one, and we said to her, look, I am failing at losing weight. I cannot lose weight. There is something happening in my body. At this point, I'd said to the doctors, we need to investigate this because I'm telling you I'm on plan. And something isn't right. So that started some investigations. There was still could the cancer have moved? Could something else have happened? Could it be this X, Y, Z? We didn't know, did we, for me?
No.
All this while, you've then lost your sense of smell, lost your sense of taste. And still doing the plan and working on everything. And
getting you to smell all my food, like anything I open up and that, just to make sure that I ain't going to poison myself.
Oh, yeah, because before all of this, you had surgery.
I had surgery. So
that was why we came off plan, because
Partly
you'd had
I'd had surgery.
top surgery.
I think I was at home for dealing with that for a few weeks or so.
There were 6 weeks when you weren't able to do a lot.
So I could still kind of move around and do things, but I just couldn't.
Couldn't do a lot.
I couldn't stretch.
You weren't supposed to do a lot.
And stuff like that. No.
Did more than you should have done, but you weren't supposed to do a lot.
So basically, I wasn't supposed to like put my arms above my head and all of that too much, because you can stretch your scars. Couldn't sleep on my side or on my front. I had to sleep flat on my back as well, which was probably one of the worst things of it, really. Other than that, like everything else, pain wise and all of that from surgery, I had no pain afterwards.
No, you did really well.
No pain overnight after surgery. Stayed there the night, came home, and recovered quite quickly, I think.
But it was an excuse for us to then go back to takeaways.
To not be on plan for a bit.
And we were off plan. It turns out we were off plan for nearly a year. And we regained that weight again. Do you remember how much you'd put on? Was it 4 stone?
I think I had... When I stopped, I was 17 stone something.
And when we went back in October?
When I went back, I was 24 stone 12 pound.
Oh, so you put 7 back on. in that year, which is easily done. And again, I think with us,
It was when our relationship with food was bad. It was very
it was very bad.
Very bad.
We would
Yeah.
completely overindulge, all while saying, it's all right, we can get it off again
Yeah.
at some point. It's fine, it's fine.
Yeah, make excuses for yourself inside your own mind. You're like, oh, it's all right. We'll sort it out. It'll be fine.
And whilst half-hearted trying all of the other weight loss plans,
Yeah.
and then October last year, we were like, do you know what? We can't do this anymore. This is ridiculous. We will end up killing ourselves.
And you know, I remember back then that saying, you know, every week it would be, oh, like Jane says, I'll start next month. I've got this many months. I'll start then, you know. And as the time does, it gets less and less. And if you like got deadlines and things you need to lose weight for, that day doesn't come.
No.
And then you realise that actually, if I'd have started this a year ago, I could have been
a year further down the line.
Completely different. And, you know, in a year, just doing the bare minimum on Slimming World, what you could lose like nearly 4 stone in a year, or even just like losing a pound a week. And yeah, it's just, like I say, 10 months for me this time, and like I'm nearly at my 7.5, so 7.5 stone. So
back to where we were before we
Yep.
started. I think we both realised a lot about ourselves. We did a lot of soul searching.
Yep.
And I remember us saying, if we're going to do this Slimming World thing again, because it does work, we have to just commit to it.
Yeah.
And if we go back, we'll go back. We restart the channel, we start doing videos again, we do everything. We have to do it and give this one proper shot, a last ditch effort. Otherwise, I'm going to go for a gastric band or a bypass or whatever else. And you might have to do that as well, because we were really struggling. But this time round then, we went back to group.
Yeah.
Lucy, our consultant, was very welcoming. She was like, oh, well, good to see you two again. She didn't say, oh my God, Lisa, look at your chins. Look how many chins you got now. What happened? She didn't say that, did she?
No.
I thought she might.
No.
But she's ever so lovely. She's now working as a development something.
Yeah.
She
helps
gone into
consultants
Slimming
and
World
stuff,
higher up
yeah.
now. She's lovely. Trust me, Slimming World are very, very lucky to have her. They really are. And so she is now, she welcomed us back, and we went back to being on plan. But somewhere in between the year that we were off and rejoining, something clicked, didn't it? Because it wasn't, this is going to be a diet. And we'd said to ourselves, if we go back, we have to stick at it. We can't keep doing this. We do Slimming World, something happens, we come off, we then use all the excuses in the world. We'll have a takeaway, it'll just be till Christmas, just be till New Year, just be till my birthday, just be till our anniversary, just be till Christmas.
Yep.
Before you know it, 10 years have gone by and you're the size of a house. Do you know what I mean? So we were like, we can't do that. If we go back for good. Highs or lows, lose or gain, we go back to plan, and it is what it is. We just stick it out.
It's a bit like saying, if you're someone that's doing the same thing, give yourself a kick up the arse and go and, you know, just... I think the worst bit was stepping in, going through the door, getting on the scales the first time. Once you've done that, everything else is a breeze. It really is.
It was. So we came back to Slimming World in October 2024, and you were losing weight from day one, weren't you? Like big amounts, 2, 3, 4 pounds a week, every week, or substantially every week.
Yeah.
I, in my first 3 months, lost a grand total of 16 pounds. Now that's quite good. That's not a bad amount to lose. But considering I started back at 23 stone 11, I had a lot of weight to lose. 16 pounds in 3 months when you're that heavy and that have that much excess body weight, that isn't great.
Very slow, isn't it?
It was very slow. That pattern of me up and down was starting to come back. That is, whilst I was eating 100% on plan, only using sins if I wanted them in a meal, or as I'll have a bag of low sin crisps or something as a low sin snack. We weren't having our 15 sin snack bags or anything like that. And that is how things were going. until January hit, and I had an infection in my toe.
Yeah.
And I'd had this for quite a while. I had a fungal nail infection thing, and one of my nails came off, and it was not healing. Again, type 2 diabetic. At that point, I was on a large amount of glycoside, which is a diabetic medication, a very high amount of it. Ended up, I went to the doctors, and the doctors were like, oh, we need to refer you to the foot clinic, the specialist team, because this is not good. The consultant we saw at the foot clinic, she was she like one of the higher ups or something? She seemed to be like, I don't know whether she was in charge or...
She was, I think, the person in charge of the ward that day, like of the clinic that day.
Yeah. So she knew what she was doing anyway, basically. So she comes in, she looks at my toe, deals with that. Okay, we're going to give you some antibiotics. And she looked at my medication list and she said, why are you on this? And I said, I don't know. I used to be on another medication, metformin. That I had issues with. It was making me poorly. So they put me on glycoside. That wasn't really having an effect. I said, been on Slimming Well 3 months, not losing the weight. Bloods are all over the place, up and down. And she said, well, why have they put you on so much glycoside? I said, I don't know. They changed it a couple of months back. The diabetic nurse put me on it.
But I said, you just assume that the nurses at your GP surgery, you think, everybody has the same training and that they know what you should be on and what you shouldn't.
Yeah. I don't know the amount I should take.
The safe amount that you should have been on, not that actually, sometimes you get prescribed medication and they don't tell you all of the side effects or what that medication could do other than just its job, what the other side effects or other issues you might have from it. And they don't never tell you, do
What
they?
did she say it was doing?
She said it was stripping your pancreas. It was overworking your pancreas and going to cause you more issues later on if you stayed on that high dose.
Yeah. But she decided there and then, she said, you know what, I'm taking you off this glycoside. I'm going to start you on tirzepatide. Yeah. Now, if you don't know what that is, the market name for it is Mounjaro. But as a type 2 diabetic, the amount that I'm on is for my diabetes. I'm not on a weight loss amount. So they started me on tirzepatide on Mounjaro. And within a week, my bloods were down to 8s on a regular basis. Within a month, I was in the 7s. Within 2 months, my blood sugars were in the 5s and the 6s, which is in the average range. Now my bloods are low to mid 5s, which is the non-diabetic normal blood sugar range. It's at the higher end of the non-diabetic range, but it's in that okay zone. And I haven't often talked about being on that drug because there's, for me, an assumption that, that's why the weight's come off. It is, but not because of the jab in the way that other people are taking it. For me, that jab, what it has done has leveled my blood sugars. And what that's done for my diabetes, it meant that my diabetes is under control because my body isn't trying to deal with a high level of sugar to then produce a high level of insulin to then deal with all of that and having this weird cycle. It means that my body was able to just calm down, deal with the food intake that I was giving it in a way that every other body does, which is to treat food as it actually is. Everything I was eating was basically my body was seeing as sugar.
I'm saying, but also the levels that someone would have for weight loss increases over time, whereas if you're someone that takes it for diabetes, often that once you get to a certain level, so they slowly build up your level of Mounjaro,
they monitor it
over a period of time, but then there is a maximum amount they will ever give you. So whereas for people for weight loss, they slowly up the dose as you go and increase to a lot higher than what you would have.
Well, that's it. And what they do with me is they monitored it very closely for a while, didn't they?
Sorted out your level and that is it.
And even now there's a discussion about bringing it down a level because now my bloods are so in such a good range that it might need to come down a little bit. So because of that shift, it basically means if I had been on this type of diabetic medication years ago, then Slimming World may well have worked all of those previous times, because I know 100% when I am on plan, I'm on plan. And this time round, Slimming World for us isn't a diet plan.
No.
It's a lifestyle choice, a lifestyle change.
I remember you saying, though, you know, times you'd gone to Slimming World and then you didn't get what you wanted to, you know, didn't see on the scale what you was hoping for that week. It would be, what, you know, I'm paying for this. Why am I going to lie? Why lie to myself about it? You know, I'm coming here, I'm eating everything 100% on plan. I'm coming here, I'm getting weighed and not seeing what I want to see on the scale. It doesn't reflect what a great week I've had. And also, you know, if I'm paying for it, I'm not going to lie about it, am I? You know, so what's the point?
Exactly.
Because the only person you're lying to is yourself. If you cheat and don't add things and then knowingly not tell people when you've got to get weighed, you're just lying to yourself.
Yeah. So, since that medication change, my bloods, as I say, are now in the healthy range. Everything's doing what it should.
Yeah.
And from learning more about diabetes and how the insulin control works, I now realise for years my body was struggling with any food.
Yeah.
And I could have been on the cabbage soup diet and I wouldn't have lost weight. You name it, I could have been on, because my body, the way it was acting, the way my pancreas was acting, was out of kilter.
Yeah.
And what this Manjaro jab has done for me is to sort my pancreas out, and that is allowing me to lose the weight. And again, I am a little bit reticent in talking about it, because people will probably assume that I'm on this jab to lose weight, and that's why it's working. It isn't. I'm on this jab because it's the one thing that has dropped my sugar levels. Cutting sugar out my diet didn't drop my sugar levels.
No.
So something somewhere was going drastically wrong with my body. This jab has now brought that under control, which means that everything else is sorted. What we have learned this time round is that Slimming World is a plan that works. Jane Day used to say, Slimming World will work if you work it, it won't if you don't. But we didn't get it, did we?
No, we didn't. But we do now. We understand the assignment now, so we know what is needed and everything that we need to do, and we use the tools as best we can. And like I say, we're just living life now, and you know, realising if I want to make a pizza or something like that, I can make a cauliflower pizza, or there's ones that you can make using vegetables and chicken mince. And then you put all your toppings on it, and like
sounds
I say,
like a Parmo, but yeah,
a little bit similar. But yeah, you make your own pizzas, and you can do all sorts. Like I say, there's so many recipes out there that you can even find online if you don't have all the books.
Yeah, exactly. And I think what's changed for us is that this is it. This is us for life. We will food optimize for life because we are using the optimal goodness, the ideal benefits, all of that from the food that we eat. That is literally food optimizing for us. But you just said there, Slimming World is a tool. It is a tool. But whatever tool you use, whether it's calorie counting, whether it's taking the Manjaro jab for weight loss, whether it's whatever it is, you've still got to do the work. I've written down here, a hammer won't build you a bookcase, an oven won't cook you a Sunday roast, and a bike won't get you fit. Unless you use the tool to do the work, you're not going to get the result. And I think that is absolutely something that now we understand, is that it is a tool. The food plan, the food optimizing plan that Slimming World have created, that is the tool that we use. But you've done the work to lose 7 stone, 4.5. Yeah. You've done that. You've used the tool. And it's like you've used that hammer to build a bookcase, or you've used that oven to make that Sunday roast. You've done the work.
Yeah.
It's all well and good signing up to Slimming World, downloading the app, buying the meals. If you're not working it properly and using the sins the way they're conceived, optimizing the food, 30 your plate with speed, blah, blah, blah. If you're not walking the walk,
that's it.
You're just talking the talk.
So we always try and max out our veggies, and sort of like we have those in high volume, so we'll eat quite a lot of vegetables, meaning that your protein and your other carbs like potatoes and other things we have slightly smaller amounts sometimes. And obviously all your veggies will have a lot less calories in those.
Yep.
So like I say, we try and use the plan as best we can.
Yep.
And yeah.
But we're not missing out.
No, not at all.
We, as I say, possibly the best meal either of us have ever had. We had this week 100% food optimized, zero sin meal.
Just like a takeaway.
It was. It really, really was. Honestly, the recipe, I'll link it up top. It's probably linked down below as well. Go and check it out. But we're not skimping on our food. No. We're enjoying everything we eat. We're having our healthy extras. We count all our sins. We monitor everything. We do the plan the way it was intended. We don't have a secret snack bag with sugary food in. There's loads and loads of things that we have changed about the plan, and
every time it's been different. Every time we've gone back, and now sometimes, like I say, I've seen videos of other people on YouTube that have done videos about I've tried Slimming World, fallen off, gone back, fallen off, gone back, and sometimes it takes people a few times to really get it. I mean, some people will get it the first time and then they'll get to target and fantastic, you know, and they've stuck to it and that's all they've ever done and all they've ever known. But some people, it take a few times of sort of trial and error for you to really get it.
Absolutely. One thing I realised as I was preparing for this video, so this is a very new thought in my head. There's a saying, isn't there? Dress for the job you want. I eat for my maintenance weight, my at target weight. That's what we eat for now. We eat a low calorie, healthy, nutritious, balanced diet that is full of all the good food, has minimal amounts of all the bad food. We are eating the meals that if we had never got big, our bodies need to maintain us at our optimal healthy weight. That's what we're eating. It's not a diet plan. Yes, we're eating less than we would naturally, normally for us because of those bad habits. But we're now eating. I'm eating as if I'm already on target. And I'm eating to maintain a really healthy weight for the next 20, 30, 40 years. That's how we're eating now, isn't it?
Yes.
We're not eating as a diet, because when you're on a diet, it's restrictive. We're now eating for the weight we want to be.
We're in the middle of our journey at the moment. But this is not the end game yet, because at the end, there is like new rules and some extra things and that sins and things you get to play
maintenance
with
train.
And people say that this is the easy part. The easy part is the losing weight, and the hardest bit is to manage and balance everything out so that you can stay to the weight that you have set for yourself.
Yeah, and we don't mean by that losing weight is easy, because it isn't. We are now eating to maintain a healthy body. We just have to wait a little while for our body to get there.
Slimming World is Slimming World, and most things you don't have to count, but still, no matter what you do in life, it's always going to be calories in versus calories out. So no matter what you do, so food isn't unlimited, and just being mindful of how much, I think, over time that you eat, I think is just a sensible way of doing it. Like I say, if we have salad and that on our plate for our evening meal, and if there's some left over, sometimes we do have a little bit of salad in a pot for later, but other times we don't feel we need it. It's we eat when we're, supposedly when we're hungry. I don't get hungry because of COVID
took that away.
But usually, like I say, most folk will eat because you're hungry, and rather not just because you're bored or not because you're emotional or not because and it's just trying to recognize all of that stuff and just do things to better your life and just just your relationship with food in general.
Exactly. And I think that's a key thing to take away from hopefully from this video and from our story, is that we have bettered our lifestyle to better our life, and I think that's really important to keep in mind.
We want to live long enough to annoy everyone on here even more.
We do. We also want to live long enough so that we can play rock music and heavy metal in the nursing home when we're older and grayer, and when we're, when we're in our 90s and getting on for 100.
Yeah.
A bit like these days, they'll put a bit of, I don't know, Elvis on or Bing Crosby or whoever it might be. I want to be in there going, play some of that old music, like Youngblood and Ozzy Osbourne. Play me some Black Sabbath. One thing I want to add just before we finish is that we've done this with our health limitations.
Yeah.
Both of us have got poor health. You've got to go for spinal surgery very soon. I have fibro that leaves me wiped out at times. It leaves me unable to walk because my balance gets bad. There's all sorts of limitations that we have, and we've done it whilst living with those limitations.
So we don't do tons of exercise or anything like that.
We can't.
And if you do that with the plan, great, but no matter what you do, where some people might not do the plan 100% and then think, well, I'll make up for it, I'll do a load of exercise and that will get my losses, so don't worry about that. And to find that that's not always the case. No. You can help tone up, and unless you were exercising high sort of intensities or whatever they call it, like you're doing high reps and this and that and doing hours of exercise, the basically losing the weight is all about what you're eating, 100%.
Yeah.
If you do the extra exercise or go out and do some steps, go out and do a bit of light walking, all of that adds up to it, will help tone up and just, all of that in just make you feel good and all of that stuff. But everything is about what you're eating. So if you're eating 100% on plan and don't exercise because you can't, or you can do very minimal, you should do really well on Slimming World.
I still walk with my walking stick. Slimming World has helped me with that in terms of I'm not as heavy, so I'm not putting as much weight on my joints and on my knees and my feet and things like that. But it hasn't undone fibro for me. It hasn't, it isn't a cure-all, but it is possible, even with limited mobility and limited ability to do exercise. It is possible for you to have some cracking results. It really, really is. And I think that's one thing that we really, really have taken to heart, isn't it? Is that it is literally a plan that works if you work it. It is a tool that you can use to change your life for the better, but you are the only one that can make that change. No one can do it for you. Nope. It's not like you go and pay your consultant and they are going to stop you putting that fork in your mouth or opening that second bag of crisps. You have to put that work in. It is possible, but it takes your effort. And I think that is what we've learned.
I said I can go get myself a Fitbit, but it's not going to make me walk.
No. No.
So I can go, oh right, well this tells me how many steps I've done. I can see how many steps I might have done indoors. But if you don't get up, put shoes on, and wear the right clothes or whatever it is you want to wear to go out walking, if you're not getting up and going and doing that, then what's the point of having a Fitbit?
It's just another tool. It's just another tool.
That's it.
I think that brings us to the end of today's video. I hope this has been interesting. I hope that by sharing our story and being brutally honest with where we've got and where our journey has taken us, you can see that we aren't people that naturally drank the Kool-Aid of Slimming World and we're like, oh, everything's perfect, because you would have seen our other videos. You know that we've got as many reservations about the group, the company, as everybody else has. You know that we are very, very vocal in things that we disagree with. But I hope you can also see that for us, we have found a tool that we can use that works. We can use this tool to get the lifestyle changes and the life changes that we need. And
I'll say, if we can do it, anybody can do it.
Absolutely. And this time round, whether we are online members, group members, consultants, whatever we do for the next 20, 30 years, whilst Slimming World exists, we will follow that plan.
That's it.
And if tomorrow the Slimming World organisation disappeared, we would keep hold of our
Still
books
be here, that's it.
and we would still be doing the same eating plan,
Just on
with
here,
or without
with you lot.
that organisation. Exactly. Because I think it is that life-changing for us. It really is,
Yeah.
isn't it? And this is us only partway through our journey.
It is.
We will do a follow-up to this when we'll both hit our targets.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, like I say, we're still going, and like I say, wherever our journey ends up, I think, you know, we'd still be coming on here, sharing our journey,
Absolutely.
our weight losses and everything, because at some point, I don't know whether I'll continue getting weighed at group or whatever. Either way, wherever we end up with all of that, yeah, we'll still be on our journey of weight loss
Yep.
until we get near our target, and then, yeah,
And then we'll be
Something
stepping aboard that maintain train.
that's it.
But yeah, that's going to be it from us for this video. Listen, whatever plan you're following, follow that plan. Commit
That's
to
it.
the plan. Whether that be Weight Watchers, calorie counting, Slimming World, the Manjaro jabs, whatever you are doing, use that tool to change your life, because it can work if you work it.
And it won't if you don't.
It won't if you don't. It's just a tool.
That's it.
And we're going to say goodbye now, as we always do. So then, thanks ever so much for watching. Don't forget to join us at the Losers Club every Wednesday evening at 6:30 p.m. here on the channel.
Not the AM, the PM.
Yep,
Yes.
6:30 p.m. That's UK time, by the way. So if you
it
are
is.
in a different time zone, please double check where you are in the world and come and join us there. It's an online group where we support the losers, the gainers and the maintainers. And yeah, check out our other videos. We've got loads of recipes, haven't we?
Yeah.
Including the legendary chicken tikka masala recipe.
Which was amazing.
It was amazing. I'm actually
really
now
was.
thinking, I know we've got...
I could eat that again today.
I was about to say,
yeah,
we've
no
got
way.
chicken breast and salad for tea tonight, and I'm actually thinking, I wonder if there's any chicken in the freezer that we could get out and make a masala in
Probably.
time. There's not. It's,
No.
They wouldn't have it in time
Maybe
for
for
tonight.
tomorrow.
We could do it for tomorrow. But yeah, that is going to be it from us. And if you have liked this video, please do the YouTubey things. Give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. Ding your bell so that YouTube notifies you whenever we go live. All of that. And we'll see you on the next one. And as we always say, stay you, stay true, stay authentic.
And happy slimming.
Happy slimming. Bye-bye.